This is a look ahead to next week's key political and financial events. It's a big week for central banks. The ECB meets on Thursday to announce its interest rate decision, with Mario Draghi's news conference to follow. Journalists will no doubt ask him his views on signs of economic recovery, the weakness of Europe's banks and the strength of the euro. Reuters' Neil Kimberley says the ECB will hold off from saying too much, at least for now.
What's more important to the ECB? I suspect confidence is more important than the absolute level of the euro. Now, there's a barrier at 137, but you're talking about 140. Key point for me going into this weekend is, if we close in New York above 136, treasurers, board members of Eurozone exporters are going to wake up at the weekend, open their newspapers and see that we're closer to 140 than we are to 130. And what does that do for their hedging strategies? I've seen this before. There's going to be a point where they're going to go pick up the phone and say, how many have you bought? Get some in. And they're going to make them buy it.
The Bank of England will also announce its policy decision on Thursday. Again, no change expected. A Reuters poll this week shows most economists think the BOE should stick to inflation targeting as its main policy tool. Incoming Governor Mark Carney gets a grilling from UK lawmakers. His remarks on monetary policy recently have already made waves, suggesting, to some at least, that he favours targeting nominal GDP rather than inflation. Europe's leaders begin a round of shuttle diplomacy ahead of a crucial two-day summit starting on Thursday. They'll be trying to nail down the bloc's next long-term budget after talks collapsed late last year. Bank recapitalisation likely to shape the agenda, with Spain and other southern European countries keen for the ECB's rescue fund to be able to inject capital into banks from early next year. Germany, not quite so keen. Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy meets with German Chancellor Angela Merkel, with a corruption scandal hot on his heels. Rajoy's Partido Popular is being watched closely after an El País investigation published what appear to be secret payments made to party members. On the data front, Spanish jobless figures on Monday are unlikely to endear Prime Minister Rajoy to the protesters outside his party HQ. The jobless rate is currently 26% and youth unemployment nearing 60%, and could rise further. Spain in the bond market again on Thursday, having already raised 15% of its yearly funding in January. France and Germany also due to sell debt next week. UK and Eurozone service PMIs for January are out on Tuesday. Forecasts are for a pickup in UK activity, but the index to remain below the 50 level that separates contraction from expansion. Predictions for the Eurozone see the index holding steady in contraction territory at 48.3. The OECD gives its outlook for the UK economy on Wednesday, with Finance Minister George Osborne due to give his reaction in a speech later that day. In corporate news, another week full of heavyweight earnings. On Monday, Julius Baer reports fourth quarter results expected to have risen by 9%. BP and UBS report on Tuesday, and on Wednesday, drug maker GlaxoSmithKline reports its Q4 results as it prepares for a court fight over withdrawn diabetes drug Avandia. And on Thursday, Swiss bank Credit Suisse, steelmaker ArcelorMittal, motor company Daimler and telecommunications giant Vodafone all report Q4 results. We'll also get full-year earnings from pharmaceutical company Sanofi. That's our look ahead to next week's key events. I'm Jamie McGeever. This is Reuters.